it was quite an astonishment for me to see those people in Taiwan speaking their mind. In Hong Kong, we don't see that anymore. My friends are very afraid to speak what they want. But partially, I went to Victoria Park just because of that, because they cannot speak anymore.
各位朋友们，大家好，安安大家好，我是苏泰，欢迎收看今天的节目。今天我有邀请一位特别来宾，就是现在人在香港有参加过就是纪念896的活动的 Filip. Witam Cię bardzo serdecznie i porozmawiamy o tym, co się wydarzyło w Hongkongu.
Dzień dobry, witam wszystkich.
We'll do that in English, so it would be easier for me to do subtitles later on. So first of all, what happened? Can you just give like a brief explanation what happened and why were you arrested in Hong Kong?
So the short story is that on June 4th, last Sunday, I went to Victoria Park with a candle, and by the time I lit it, maybe 10 seconds after, I was stopped by the police. First of all, it was 10 police officers, then it was maybe 20 in total, who cordoned off the whole area and put me to the side, checked my documents. Hopefully, I was not arrested. They just gave me a warning, and after 10 minutes, they let me go.
What was the reasoning behind them giving you a warning and stopping you in Hong Kong?
They told me it's illegal to light candles in this park.
Okay, it's illegal to light candles in Victoria Park, in a public space.
So that's what they said. The first thing they told me is that after they told me to stop, they told me that my actions could incite others. To which I responded that I only came here to pray.
Okay, so basically praying in public spaces is also kind of forbidden right now in Hong Kong, right?
I think it all depends to what it symbolizes.
Okay.
And it seems that the current government of Hong Kong is afraid of candles.
Well, you're an exchange student right now, and you probably know about the events on June 4th. And as a Polish person, can you just tell a couple of words? In Poland, how much do people know about it? And why do you think that this date is important? Because you decided to pray.
Not enough. We didn't learn much about it at school. And this is probably why it was the first time that on June 4th I actually lit the candle. Another reason is actually a sad irony that this date in Poland, June 4th, is a very happy celebration.
Yeah.
On June 4th, 1989, we have the first free elections in the history of modern Poland. We celebrate it as a happy anniversary. And sadly, in China, that is not the case.
Yeah, and at the same time, there was a very big protest in Warsaw in Poland, and people are actually, that's freedom of speech, and everybody can express what they think. If they're satisfied with what the government is doing, if they don't like what the government is doing, you have your freedom of assembly. And it used to be like that in Hong Kong, as far as I know. But per your observation, is it your first time in Hong Kong? How long have you been there?
Yes, it's my first time. I only came here 6 months ago. But it still made me connect to Hong Kong and the Hong Kong people in a very deep, profound way. There's a lot of ways in which Hong Kongers and the Polish people are very similar, even though we're so far away.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah. So see, we have very different food, very different language, very different cuisine. But we have very similar historical experiences. We have both been challenged and oppressed in the history. And we, the Poles, have that opportunity, have that advantage that now we are not. And this is something that as soon as I start speaking to Hong Kongers, we start to connect on that very mental level. We share the same mentality.
And what is the overall vibe in the city? Because there have been many events like during the recent years, and per the information we have here, we have in Poland, we have in Taiwan, the level of freedom of speech is going a little bit down. Are there any concerns about that amongst the Hong Kong populace? Because per my observation, in 1989, we had our first free election. At that time, in terms of plurality, personal freedoms, freedom of speech, Hong Kong was a more free society than Poland was. during the PZP times, right? But right now we see that Poland is, even though we have our own problems, but we are still a democratic society. But in Hong Kong, it seems like the level of the personal freedoms that people have is actually going down. Do you have the same feeling about what's going on
So,
there?
in fact, the first thing is that nobody would care if I did that in Poland. Nobody even would notice that. And this is our Polish tradition to light candles for the dead, to commemorate them. And everybody does it. If you're religious, if you're not, we still do it. For us, it's very symbolic to remember about those people. Even if it is with a single light, we believe it can make a difference. And the sad truth about Hong Kong is that, in fact, it was never a true democracy. We never seen popular elections in Hong Kong. I think the highest it went up to 50% popular representation, but since 2019 and 2021 electoral reform in Hong Kong, that is no more.
Yeah, you have to be very patriotic to even participate in the elections, as they put it.
You ask me what is the status of freedom of speech. I'm not a sociologist, I'm not a political scientist, but I think the amount of people that showed up this year in Victoria Park to light a candle tells you that perfectly. I didn't see people who actually lit up the candle, who actually were able to enter the park. A lot of people were already arrested in Causeway Bay and taken away to the police stations. Maybe because I was inconspicuous an exchange student, I was able to enter to the park proper and light the candle.
Yeah, as a foreigner, they probably just saw there was a European coming in and he probably won't gonna do anything.
Maybe I was the only person who actually lit the candle in that park on that day. And it not used to be like that. Look at the pictures, there used to be thousands of people. I think those pictures speak for the level of freedom of speech nowadays in Hong Kong.
This is a very deeply Christian tradition, and to my viewers from Taiwan, if you go to Poland in late October and November, like a couple of days before and after the All Saints Day, and if you go by any Polish cemetery at night, you'll see that it is bright as during day because of the candles, because people are leaving candles by the graves to commemorate, to remember those who are not with us anymore. And it doesn't have to be connected to a political statement. It is a part of
Poland.
culture.
In fact, it's never a political statement.
Yeah, but right now, seeing the reaction from the Hong Kong government, it is really worrying. I know that you have been to Taiwan.
I have, yeah. About 2 months
ago. Can
you
say a couple of words? What do you think about it? And
that's a very heavy experience. In fact, we went to Taiwan with a group of my friends to Kaohsiung, and we hitchhiked around the coast to Taipei.
Oh, that's a risky experience, but I see that you're safe and sound.
I wouldn't say so. I would say Hong Kong is much more risky nowadays than Taiwan is. Oh. And Taiwan people are great, and I thank them for the hospitality. A lot of people gave us rides. The standard time to wait for a ride was maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So it was very easy. People were very helpful. They always kept telling us that, hey, we were worried that nobody would take you, so we would take you.
No, but in fact, that is so Taiwanese.
They were so nice and so cute. We even made it to stay a night at a local house in Taitung.
Oh.
I don't know if they're watching, but if you put the subtitles in Chinese, I will send it to them so they can see. And I'm very thankful also to that family in Taitung that let us stay in their place.
I will put subtitles in Mandarin in that video. And being both in Hong Kong and in Taiwan, do you think that Taiwanese people should learn more, and maybe there is something to, something like a warning sign that you see in Hong Kong that Taiwanese people can learn about and can maybe to protect themselves in future?
I mean, totally. Of course, I was very glad to see Taiwan people not being afraid to speak up. And being already a few months in Hong Kong, it was quite an astonishment for me to see those people in Taiwan speaking their mind. In Hong Kong, we don't see that anymore. My friends are very afraid to speak what they want. But partially, I went to Victoria Park just because of that, because they cannot speak anymore. They're not being censored, they self-censor. And this is what Hong Kong is about nowadays. You know, Hong Kong launched the Happy Hong Kong campaign recently. It's supposed to make people see that Hong Kong is back on its track to prosperity and that nothing happened in the recent years. But the Happy Hong Kong campaign deflated, like one of those DAX that just deflated yesterday.
Yeah,
you can check the news. We had those
in the Victoria Harbour. Yeah.
Yes. The truth is that nowadays the only happy person in Hong Kong is John Lee, and this is not my opinion. I'm just telling you what my Hong Kong friends tell me.
Well,
And
Jackie Chan probably is also happy, but besides these two, I really loved it. Yeah. Okay, Philip, thank you so much. And thank you so much for letting me interview you today. I wish you a safe return back home. If you have any time, we can meet up in Poland and maybe have an in-depth interview in future. Thank you.
Thank you. And I really appreciate I could share that story with you. It means a lot to me, and I think it also means even more to my Hong Kong friends.